Hello, picky penguins. Welcome back to Bagels reading Vast Era. Bagel is I. It's been a while actually since I've last read it. I was a bit preoccupied playing Your Turn to Die. I also played 999 the other day, actually. I didn't record it, but I played it. I probably won't record it again. Or I won't record it at all because I know what happens. At least with Your Turn to Die, I did a route that I hadn't done yet. Anyway. I've got all of Your Turns Die recorded, so they'll be uploaded periodically. And, yeah. I'll probably start recording Hotel Dusk, actually. Anyway, last time we did Intermission 2 Side 1, which followed the Trash Men, and that other, the fucking furry. I don't know. Anyway. Also, one of my videos got freaking copyright claimed by Cerulean, so thanks for that, bro. I'm obviously being sarcastic, because I don't mind. It's not a strike, so I don't really care. I must admit, when I told you that I would not be the one taking center stage for this section of the story, they were the farthest thing I had in mind. How unfortunate for all involved, exceptionally so for myself. So, White Noise knows Mimesis, somehow, we don't really know their connection yet. Not even in comic. We probably won't know for a while. I don't think. Maybe we'll get another intermission dedicated to that. I apologize for all the circuitous self-aggrandizing nonsense that he indefinitely just put you through. Even with the privilege of having caught only the last of it, I can already feel a headache incoming. Honestly, they should know better. I really don't have time to indulge their petty tantrums anymore, in addition to everything else I oversee. And the nerve to taunt me in such a manner? Ridiculous. So I have trouble unplugging. Mere moment needed to rethink our strategy moving forward, and he took advantage of it. So as against us often do. Nothing good has ever come out of me trying to unwind. Inevitably, any time spent looking away will coalesce into external unwanted elements and invite themselves in and tainting my telling of this story. Nothing has ever stopped these influences before either. Also, I still kind of have my cold is gone, but I've got a really bad cough. So that'll be fun. Oh no, it's not even as bad as it was. So, got Snowbound Blood. And this was actually for a moment before Galoma's route got released, so that's new as well, the chess game with Cecily and Hyan. And that was in Galoma's route. Wow. Now you know that Snowbound Blood was needed to read this story. Because we've been now in an impasse of Visage. While I once thought I offered you an impartial influx of information, pardon me, any remaining glints of objectivity seem out of my reach. I cannot offer much beyond what I believe to be the truth, pieced together from what I personally seen and experienced through the eyes of the world. I've got a chamber cultist. The playing field has been levelled, and all forces stand on equal ground. Except for you. You hear from me. My eyesight guides you, but my voice has never been the only one you followed. You can see things I can't, be things that I cannot fathom. By the end, you will have a complete story, and I will be the one. I'll be left only with my own versions of events. That will not come until much later. Our originally scheduled program for this section was meant to continue from one such integral tangent. You never will remember it. After all, you and I were both present. Snowbound Blood, he's referring to, by the way. But if it has not been very long since a particular chapter has come to a close, maybe we're to recall what we know of its events. But my offered summary follows. Just realised that symbol makes it like a fucking 4chan. So we know all that. Yeah. That was Gerbat. Oshus' route. I don't know if that's supposed to be the thing with that's supposed to be Necron's route or like the next, because if you look, there's Complicados around there. So, and they weren't in there. They weren't there. So I'm thinking that might be in the next volume, which, by the way, still isn't out. Apparently it's going to be very long. I don't know if I mentioned that in another video, but they're working on it. Also, Vast Era is on hiatus right now. I mean, it'll probably come back by the time I get there, considering how low I'm being. A lone deadly peace bred from the cold checkered board that is corporate's highest internal affairs division stands at the edge of a precipice. That was a fucking sentence, alright. Several blinks ago, Chief Regulator Cecily Eopara was given executive order to recover a filter of stolen and supposedly mythical blood. Blood from the vivifier Zakura Reigns, revered figure of legend. The case was a priority LF, a matter of life and death. Expecting an affair of leaked intel and apprehended goods, Cecily was instead dragged into the raging eye of an unseen storm. The case, though she knew it not at the time, would severely change the course of Repeton's future in the struggle ahead. The true troll Cecily was sworn to protect from birth, corporate heir Sestro Enthal and his advisor, Hamifi Hecrix, gave her a list of potential suspects. Relentless in the pursuit of the objective, loyal to the corporate institution and solitary to a fault, she took it to immediate zeal and unflinching focus. Surprising, then, that the greatest, most critical impact she'd have on the world would come from a connection she had made throughout her journey with the people she had known for sweeps. Mishiri Libita, Yeshin Lavis, Oshis Koliad, Oric Roust, and many others, all connected to a single turquoise string tethered to a corroded green pole. For most of her investigation, she worked to pursue a mysterious figure known only as Noxious, an olive-blooded troll with a fixation on purity. He made his involvement with the stolen vial clear from the start, leading Cecily and her allies to connections they could not have made otherwise. Past a certain point, the filter itself had been less important than the people it was given to, what their sinister plans for it might have been. Cecily eventually arrived at an incriminating alliance between the two cults, the harbingers of the apocalypse and the Mirthomaniacs, having learned of the Blood's existence through a certain unique book were the ones truly behind the theft. Teaming up with Necron Exmort, bounty hunter intent on the slaughter of evildoers, the race was then on to learn the true identity of Noxious and apprehend him, hopefully putting an end to the cult's plans in the process. It pains me to say that this particular segment does not have a happy ending. Oh god, Cecily is absolutely gonna die. I've got some theories of how it's gonna go down. I don't know if I mentioned him in my last Snowman Blood route, but I think Noxious is probably gonna die and he's gonna take Cecily with him somehow. But we don't know that yet, so it's hard to say. Mid-days before our story began, the blood was spilled. An abyss was created, the first of many. Goals now seek further power, planning to press the advantage obtained from these new resources. And though the people involved in Operation Snowman Blood may have had their string cut, some ends are still loose. What? Oh yeah, that bit. Where the rest of their stories will go is for them to decide. All we can do is watch. Intermission 2, Side 2. And that was the executive. This was actually the first time we ever saw the executive. Okay, the start of this intermission made me think it was going to go down a very different route, but apparently not. It only starts in this place. Reconstruction era, mid-alchemic revolution, 9x sweeps before corporate inception. Pardon me. That's some cool fucking art, by the way. Yeah. Oh. So this was the first time we ever saw the executive, and it was him as young as well, so he's a pretty important character in the grand scheme of things, actually. Someone you loved has died. The memory of it haunts you. God, I remember first reading this update. Oh, it was fucking crazy. Wow. Sweeps of understated contention have finally surfaced as public outrage. Civilians without the patience or capacity to nurture the gifts dwelling within their souls have turned to fear, denouncing your institution. But the truth is, you've always felt the very same fear during your darkest moments. Nagging sensation that all of you could be in over your heads, toying with forces beyond your control. His powers doomed him, rotting his flesh from the outside in. Interesting. Your affinity is that for the calculated logical. Is that for the calculated logical? The big picture and the myriad chains of actions and reactions that influence it. When emotions run high, however, you often find yourself at a loss, overwhelmed. It wasn't any different when he was around to ease your pains. It certainly is no different now. It took all the self-control you had not to run yourself into the ground in a fit of distress. So you left. You've been wandering for hours, back to the only place that could still offer you solace. Just gotta make sure I'm recording, because you know what I'm like. I'm pretty sure this Intermission 2 Side 2 is I think it's a bit longer than Intermission 2 Side 1, I think? I don't remember. In your youth, we could both sit here together and talk for hours, days on end. Boundless ambition in the wake of great suffering. Progress be damned, you'll never see this place turn into anything else. Also, cool little fact, this place here appeared on the end screen of, what was her name? Oh, God. Saner's route, yeah. Saner and Mashiri were set on it. Many sweeps after the Renaissance, almost nothing remained but the hollow shell of a long-dead carcass. Attempting to recoup the permanent loss of the Tyrian caste, mother grubs and deceased war heroes led to the rampant misuse of this inner power. You've heard of unseen horrible things, untested volatile methods of alchemy, methods that are now forbidden in the world you've cultivated. The deconstruction era wasn't kind to anyone. But this was your home. Oh, that's Elsie's Lucis. Interesting. Mind crash. You mind crashed the doorknob. Yeah, unlike Homestuck, it seemed like aspect powers were kind of a common thing. It's called alchemy in this. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh, what's this? It's a young him and someone else. Hey, don't those horns look familiar, or is that just me? Oh boy, the theories that came from that, and I think they were all confirmed as well. Uh-oh. Can't breathe. Oh, who's that? Oh, the Forgiven. Ooh! Had a haircut. Wow, I didn't think we'd seen these. I've got to do voices for these two. Okay, so imagine the Forgiven sound like an older Archcheck. I don't know what that would sound like. I kind of want to give him a different voice. I did have reason we wound up squatting in this high for a reason. You had doubt. Can always count on coincidences. And yet, can he speak? Though restricted his airflows occur, not interrupted it. There's not any shame in learning. You still have much of it to do, my love. What a wonderfully unfair comparison, given our disparity in life experience. I've gained a lot more voices since doing Your Turn to Die, so... Also, that's gained another horn. Oh, it's not lost one yet. Look at the Cestro-shaped handles. Claret Enthal, is it not? Might of the noble compact, transistor of the alchemic ideal. You know of me. More than that. Whoa, damn, she's looking kind of... okay. We've been searching for you. Can I expect this conversation to play out without further accosting, or should I brace myself? Truthfully, I've had more than enough of being jostled around for one night. We had when Turin was actually you. Through force? Normally there's help, but they saw it fit to search for their dinner instead of standing guard. We're nomadic. And why is that? Let's not pretend that your markings are foreign to me. My early sweeps are nothing but the retaining of your story. If I am a transistor, then two of you were conduits. Without you, the society I instated would never been built to begin with. Had you both still wanted this new world, hallowed by misgivings that stem from skewed public knowledge gives me pause. Do you seek more legitimate refuge? Hardly. Although the offer is appreciated. But if you do indeed know of our stories, then you are aware of the cost of our introduction begets. I don't understand. What other purpose could I serve you? I was thinking I would give him a Hayasaka voice, but I don't think that fits him. Ooh. Your bow is already on its way to being fulfilled. What matters more is the fact that it's seen through. And not like your most experienced disciples of time, we too have seen glimpses of the roads where unwritten futures tread. A bygone plight during what you now know as the Renaissance was predicted on one such vision. You mean your helm of worship with the exemplar? Ah, your knowledge extends that far. Enthal's always been the inheritors of the past. We have a gift for its evocation. The memories of my ancestors before me may have fallen. With the aid of the eminent aspect, I can ensure that what they have left behind will never be lost. All of them followed your word, of the All-Mother, of the power within our souls. And so you already know this. As we are progeny of her creation, all souls have the leaning toward one of her aspects locked within them. Root bakers of modern alchemy, far and away the most mystic pursuits of yore that you cultivated to make way for it. But what we can perform as individuals is limited, even for myself. Stewed in your blood is what allows you to sustain the powers of life. There's never been a successful life alchemist in history other than you, not even now. Certain facets of her power are far too great to be held by the mortal. Surely you've witnessed what happens when one allows the aspect to consume them. However, souls more powerful than ours exist, or rather they are bound to. 12, one for each of her gifts, will come into being. 10 of them have readily available methods of reduplication. Was it the term you chose? Yes. And 2 do not. Our descendants, holders of life and breath. Each of these souls are to inherit her worth. Who are to inherit her worth will also have to fight for resurgence. We must fight for her as well. For them. This will risk oblivion in the North Father's grip. You already fight. Leadership means the delay of responsibility is a familiar weight on your shoulders. I don't recognize this song. Hold on. Ooh. Have I listened to it? I have. I don't recognize it. It's my pragmatic in my list, so I don't know. To take anyone other than the person who already understands what it means for this world to face ruin is a fool's variable. Our only option is to trust in the already entrusted. I mean no offense to your rationale, but how does that alone make me a confidant? Does this imply that in your vision of the future, the combat is a success? It will restore the balance between equals then? Don't ask questions we have no answers for. I don't see I'm supposed to assume anything else. What use could I serve if this leads to failure? No one wanted you to cling to the notion of assured success when there's no promise of it. Our past was built on the idea of surety. Clear-cut thoughts are black and whites, a veteran defeat among the fortunate and the displaced many. That's the reason Utopia fell. Why wars were waged. It's also how we all lose. Suppose you would know best. You freed many of those caught in such trappings. You also given a second chance after... Well, suffice it to say, there are such odds in my favour. I thought that once too. Would not be here if I hadn't proven wrong. Loss is an inevitable thing. Its variables lie in the how and when. Speculation based on unknown factors, guidance they may be, is useless. What we can do is rely on our actions and those of us we surround ourselves with. If all of it was predicated on a direction that was supposed to be taken, but wasn't. I wasn't supposed to die. I was supposed to live and be cherished as a hero. The world was meant to seem with life brighter, but chains are easily broken. So don't let them shackle you like it did to the people who chased us. He looks... Okay, it's just me. He looks a bit older than he did in the previous panels and this panel. I don't know if that's just me, but I think he aged about 10 years or so. Like 5 sweeps, I'd say. It's very easy for you to say. Claim that the future isn't worth predicting, but you have a measure of access to what the future could be. You've set all of your chances on it, even while it can't supposedly be determined. How is it different from the following previously dictated paths? Fate is controlled by the higher powers, so out of necessity. Is this not a necessity? It is. We're all a part of it on our own volition. When we did not choose our circumstances, every individual move taken in between these fixed points is something that we make for ourselves. What do you choose, Clarad? I choose the greater good of this planet and its people. We are of the same opinion. What do you need? Your task will require a specific time and a specific place. It'll be long before it comes to pass. How long? No exceptions to the natural rule. The average lifespan of those mortally inclined folk isn't what it used to be. Don't worry. I like this panel. I believe I may have a few ways to prevent such circumstances. Vivify is very pretty. Sasha and Miffy continue. We're going to get a very special moment in a bit. Pardon me. The staff areas and halls for the Repton Corporation's elite stretch as long as in literal breadth as they do in personnel, with current and prior. These rooms, quietly tucked away from the standard office's incessant buzz, are intended for sleepless nights and intense research, occupied by the head board for representatives, chief regulators and high council. For good, as the saying goes. Whether you have fallen silent at the behest of one another, trying and failing to achieve a balance of dutiful orderliness and emotional functionality, any of you have been given a second chance to gather yourselves and come to terms with your new circumstances. Only 19 minutes. Oh, wait. It's one of these. Oh. That's young Miffy and Sestro. Oh. Wonder whose portrait used to be there. I don't know, considering Cecily's is here, and she's possibly dead at this point in time? So I don't know whose that would be, or unless it is Cecily. I don't know. There's Claret again, I think? Yeah. Sister, check the office again just to be sure. Oh. It's good kids your better instincts, but the curiosity is simply maddening. You have to look. Oh god, what happened in there? There is nothing there. Of course there isn't. Of course. It's the same as you left it. So there's a mess in here. I don't know if it's Sestro who did this or Cecily. I'm thinking it's Cecily because I'm pretty sure Yeshin's probably going to die as well in the next volume. And because Cecily and Yeshin bonded, Cecily is going to have like twice-fold withdrawal. That's just theory, obviously. I don't know what's going to happen. Unless Sestro came in here and wrecked everything because she died. I don't know. I'm getting ahead of myself. I could have sworn she was... Sestro, you're the only one looking for her when she's not there. Come on, we need to keep moving. What am I even going to say to him? If I can help it, not much. I tell you that you're never supposed to treat your superiors like friends. This matter nothing more than a courtesy call in a transaction. We give our condolences, then part. That's all it has to be. I don't want that to be all, Hamifi. The amount of times I've gotten the chance to see his face outside of a portrait can be counted on one hand. Whenever I do see him, he always has to look at me with this reverence. I know so much about his legacy, but nothing about him. To some extent, I guess I am him. I'm made from him. It's what I should feel I should sort of aspire to. I'm about to inherit everything that he's leaving behind. I'm ready for that responsibility. I want it so long as I'm able to make it ours. I was scared of what that could mean. What the hell am I going to become? Oh! Kiss! Look at them, they kiss! It's Vastera's first kiss! The same thing you've always been. Better. Eat a Snickers, not you when you're hungry. Better? Better. It's Vastera's first kiss. Second, probably going to be, I don't know. Technically the second one was, Siraj and Ripite and Thaumatrope. I guess. But that doesn't count. The second, oh, it's going to be Tash Jack. No, that was going to happen like pretty late in the comic if that does happen. Or maybe even, I don't know. Sestro and Hamifi enter chambers. I was just said a name I wasn't supposed to then. I was getting way ahead of myself. Oh wow. It's maddening you're far too indignant to even die in bed. When you find a relation to your old soul, your is going to wind up toppling through the window and splattering on the ground. That's what the rigor mortis was for, no? You're not scared. If anything, I'll soon be petrified. Hilarious, sir. No, Ro dear, I'm not scared. Not even the slightest bit. This is not suitable music. I know I always say that. This is suitable music. This one. Not even the slightest bit. I fulfilled my duties to the best of my ability. Through compromise, failure, and contempt, I've persisted. And such persistence makes one willing to reach an end. Welcome it even. I yearn for mine, now more than ever. How do you think that makes me feel? By your tone, I'd say I've made better impressions on stalwart conspirators. Your ancestors used to chide me in a similar fashion. Even though her soul's full potential would never be within her grasp, she studies in the compact's aid, and even in the rhythms of inject homunculi, as you are in the aid of others. You have faithfully served an embittered old man who detests the world he is forced to make, all the while listening to his inane ramblings. I'd ask you never pull from my playbook. I don't think I could even if I wanted to. You could do anything you wish. You could get started by leaving. Sir, are you positive there is absolutely nothing else I can do for you? You have more than enough for a lifetime, my friend. More enough for my lifetime, in fact, which is nearly 3 times as long as the standard. So my greatest failures and proudest achievements came to be thanks to your aid. Soon, there will come a new world, grow from the remaining seeds of the one that withers. I fear I'll only taint it. You're about to face great hardships, hardship you may never fully comprehend. What is happening in front of you may never is proof that there are only more to come. So, try to make sure that this new world is one you are proud to call yours, won't you? Thank you for giving me a place with you, Claret. What place? Thought it might be unoccupied. A place but an elevated trip away. See to it that you make it there. No procedure? How did he point to it? What do you intend to do now? I have other clients. He is probably intubated as I could manage and has been administered analgesics. That will squeeze you a couple of hours at most. Say what you need to say and then tell me when to come and collect the body. Bit morbid. Oh my god, I got stuffy nose still. It's actually a pretty cool panel, actually. Sir? Sister, Miss Heckrix. Feels like sweeps I've gotten to hear your voices. It will certainly be the last time that I do. So please, let's all do away with the pleasantries. Believe that a measure of honesty would do us all some good. You know, I never find this to be incredibly funny. Hilarious, sir. I thought that I would live to see things through to an end. I expected to have a better view. Well, there's no reason for me to keep either of you here for long. Goodbye was never a speciality of mine. With the current state of things, we'll have to arrange the inaugural procedures as soon as possible to keep the what remains of the populace at bay. Now more than ever, we need unity. But you are both more than aware of this. So to get to the point, you two and the rest of the world, soon to follow, are about to experience a paradigm shift on a universal scale. Wait, did you know this was coming? So this update apparently was the hardest one to write, according to Austin, and it's got a lot of important stuff. A lot of questions are going to get answered in this this part. I've always known far too much. Oh, that's cool. What we're going through today is the culmination of several sweeps of action and reaction, a selected truce and winning a mission. Seeing if the music's loud enough. Plan's final bit is salvation. Tell me, do you know what my life support entailed? You always assumed it was nothing more than medically intense, cutting-edge procedure. It would have been a rather poorly concealed secret otherwise. If it had just been that, however, surely would have implemented more than independent practitioners and mixologists on a larger scale in order to dispense such a boon. I have my suspicions. Pardon me. Go away, Murray. No conclusion I came to ever really connected. I thought it was a fluke, part of medical and alchemic tempering, something hard to replicate. And now? Lime blood. It has to be that. He's going to be a coincidence. And you told me about her the last time we spoke. Told you about who? This girl, there are these hypothetical off-record trolls that... What? You didn't think it was wise indeed to relate this to me? It wasn't? Enough crawls. This is above you. I never spoke of this purpose to begin with. At the time, I didn't believe it to be a burden either of you should bear. But if all that's true, then what of the curse that comes with it? Was it such a grand sort of immortality? The curse was a non-factor, to the extenders of chosen souls. Those who fall outside of the All-Mother's needs can only access a fraction of what it is capable of. Even then, it's nothing but a temporary solution dependent on constant replenishing. My body has registered its physical death ages ago. The cells are forced to keep frantic working pace that they can no longer handle. Sir, there's absolutely nothing on record that suggests such a ludicrous claim. I'm saying words completely wrong. The past hour has been inexplicable enough, but anything beyond this is just... The Vivify is dead. She's been for many sweeps. She left no descendants. Fantastical claims relate to the extent of her power, nothing but myth. The Vivify's blood is the only documented use of sexual life extension through alchemy. We have the only successful life extension through known truthful documents of this history. After giving so much of my life to studying this, I know I'm right. They were alive at similar times. This is absurd. Miss Heckrix, you just felt the world shift beneath your feet. Your symbols carved from stone, right before your eyes. It's been part of both your lives since the moment you gained consciousness. You are one of the chosen few who know the real, full account of what led to the making of the very conglomerate you are a part of. Did you doubt the idea of mysticism? No, sir. What I want to doubt is the idea that you believe these means were justified. You're telling me that you get world-changing resources from all of us for sweeps, decagrades. We could have done so much with just that one filter. Not to mention anything else you might have utilised for yourself and these people of interest. Do you share our limited assets with them as well? We could use the blood to cure the sick. Reverse engineer it, find loopholes to diseases. What if I restored some bloodlines with this sort of power? You don't have to place hoarding it. Is this some sort of game to you? Yes, but not in the way you mean. This is your track. I'm going to take a break, actually. I'm getting a bit tired, so I'll be back later. Hello, everyone. I know it's weird for me to say that now, but it's actually the next day, because I was that tired, and I just left the recording. So, it's like 12, it's this afternoon now, actually. Oh, I woke up pretty late, because I got no sleep. Anyway, let's continue in the middle of this video. Oh my. So where were we? Oh yeah. It may not seem so to either of you, but there are certain things I do view as sacred. Our species has long since walked on a tightrope, bouncing over a bottomless pit of fragility and fell in. We have become frail and damaged. We are mired in radical idealism and shifting worldviews that do little to circumvent the truth. And one such truth is that often our biggest problems lie in compromise. This corporation was a compromise. My life is one as well. I've restricted myself to the singular purpose of holding this world together, keep its frayed edges from unraveling entirely, all for those special few who are set to inherit it. Recall the girl I mentioned to on that day, Sestro, Elsie Raines. She is indeed the very same girl the people outside were in a stir over. The Vivify and the Forgiven had descendants for exactly 8 sweeps to this night. They were commissioned far in advance to meet this deadline. I worked in conjunction with them to allow their progeny to live in comfort and moderate seclusion. A hive, a custodian at the ready, a fortune of credit out of pocket, privatized assets solely to mask their presence. What seemed nonsensical to go to such lengths for 2 years that I have not as much as personally met. However, it is them, along with 10 others, that are the reason we have been thrust beyond this event horizon. Their actions will determine whether your escape from it is possible. Its legacy is unknown even to them, but an indubitable one. The power of their souls is far beyond what the rest of us could ever attain, and they are the one shot that this planet has left. This is why it's been utmost importance to ensure their survival. So that's already answered a bunch of questions, so we already know why Arcjack's rich. Elsie's probably rich in that aspect as well. And we also know how Elsie came into existence as well, because the executive kind of hid their existence from everyone. That Arcjack as well. What are we supposed to do with this information? We'll need to establish contact with Elsie Raines and Dr. Vurat as soon as the ceremony ends. The principal keeps track of all their general whereabouts, with consistent updates. They'll provide you with the necessary point of contact. Oh, that person was mentioned in Gloma's round. I must stress, this is not optional, if it wasn't already clear. The other 10? Soon you'll have the opportunity to reach them as well. We actually have one such individual on our payroll. We do? Yes, Oshis Colliat, the holder of blood. His application was quite fascinating. Couldn't allow the board to turn him away when he was working with so much potential. In fact, it was a pleasant surprise to see that he not only had access to the line but already, but also put it to some same lofty purposes that you just mentioned, Miss Hegrix. I trust that you've been treating well despite your initial reservations. Fuck. Ancestor, you're already well acquainted with Mr. Carrion. Fuck. They are not well acquainted. Oh boy. As you can see, the stage has been getting set for a while now. I do apologize for the onslaught of information and new duties. This is how I would have preferred to handle things. Originally, I had somebody else in mind for the job, but I'm sure you can wager a guess as to whom. Oh, Cecily. Regardless, your directives aside, my main reason for wanting to speak with the two of you stems from something rather simple. I'd like to take a moment to express my apologies. It's long overdue that I own up to my failings, both at large scale and personal. Don't mind me, I just want some more suitable music. So, I am sorry. More than anything, I'm happy aware of the role I've played in your lives, or rather did not play. Never was I there for either of you when it counted, but I don't others to carry out what I could not bring myself to. My reasoning for such would not sway you, nor should it. I'm not asking for your pity or forgiveness. There are people out there who revile the system, revile what they believed led to it, and revile me for what I've done. As well as it is poorly documented. Corpo was created in order to bridge the gap between my sensibilities and those of the dissenters. Pardon me. What arose in this was a regime that benefits no one, except for those who sacrifice their moral integrity. I've said and done many things to keep us on a course that I can't change, things I don't truly believe in, things that I've never wanted. My trust to you both is not the simple task of falling in line with the old methods that have molded you. I'd like for you to instead continue working off one another, to find others who share in your ideals and dismantle every oppressive structure I have left in my wake. I'd like for you to help build a different future for all of us. Hamithi. Yes? It's just that you set the public hearing in motion post-haste. Your contributions to this company have been imperative in keeping it afloat, and now is the moment where you get to decide what that has meant to you. I'm certain you have some new reservations about this legacy that will carry you with you from this point forward. I trust you to do it right by it. I'd like just a few moments alone with my heir now. You're dismissed. As you wish, sir. Goodbye. She'll be fine. I hope so. Come closer if you're going to speak softly. My hearing is as good as it used to be, you know. It's been a question I've been meaning to ask you. God, this track also isn't very... Let's try this. I don't remember all of them, so that's the problem. Oh, it's this one. Okay, give me a sec. Okay, this one might be a bit more suitable. So what's the... oh, is that supposed to... I don't think... It's not supposed to move around, is it? No. It's not that sort. Do you love her? What? Your advisor. You two committed? I, thought that was pretty obvious. Yes. We are matesprits. Why? No need to get defensive. It was mere curiosity. There's only so much that I can glean in my state. I didn't want to make a base assumption. Glean, is that a real word, Sam? Her ancestor was my Morail. Brilliant man he was. But I felt as though I took far too much credit for the example he made. I mean, that's why you chose us, isn't it? We made because you trusted what you had with him. To an extent. I hopes for your relationship began and ended with you working together and supporting each other. Take no credit for what it has grown into. Though, perhaps it's true what they say about bloodlines and following in footsteps. Are you trying to make this a moment between us? Is that how you would like to see it? This is the most we've ever talked in my life. I think calling what we've had so far a legitimate relationship would be a bit of a stretch. If I may be candid with you, sir, it's been a number of quick encounters that either led to a vague sense of dread or a photo. Well, we're here now, are we not? I suppose so. I've been preparing for this day my entire life, or for a version of it I made up in my head. Were you afraid I would not recognize what you've built so far? Sidelong glances aren't meant to last long, my boy. I can readily hear the gears turning. Is it really that obvious? I would know it. I've been quite the enthusiastic overthinker myself back in the day. But humour me. I pretend it isn't. What do you say if I asked you about your intent regarding your position? Something that could be seen as faultless. So I think I have a proper response. I want to be more than a bandage over a deep wound. I want equality that isn't falsified. I want people to be in charge of their lives and not have to live with a system that only allows the already successful and able to thrive. That sounds lovely. But that's why it won't work. I've paused every major text and historic account we have stored in the mass hall compounds. I can chronologically rattle off all statutes that were ever passed or proposed. I'm well aware of what the Enthor Psyop can handle. If you have used your examination to great effort, from all that I've heard. And I don't have anything non-theoretical to show for it. Read that in the detective's voice. Great effect doesn't really matter if it's only got on paper. I could never write papers or speeches myself. I don't enjoy thinking about the minutiae. Something always got left out in the margins and it upset me. I'd rather speak directly from the mind. Can I ask you a question this time around? Well, we only have so long. I'm going to be able to deprive you of a moment between us where you're able to. Okay. What do I need to do? When I go out there and look them all in the eyes, I don't know what I'm doing the right thing. Do you want the honest truth? I'm terrible at anything else. There is no one right thing, Sestro. Life is not made of absolutes, or rather, it shouldn't be. We heard not in vain, but to be able to find the strength to carry on and discover what we believe is important. All we are in the end is what we make of ourselves. Oh. Uh-oh. What's happening? Are they using my... Oh god. Okay, this panel, there's a lot of interesting stuff here, so... These are all Claret's memories, the executive, so... Obviously got them pair. That's Lineblood got... I'm guessing that's Hemifi? Oh, that's baby Sestro. Or baby Claret, I'm not sure. That's Claret again. That's that one thing we saw. Roder, Cecily, Eidolon. That's Eidolon, which is really interesting. That means Claret knows Eidolon. And... Okay. Pretty sure that's Turnin, Sabine, and Orica's ancestors. Let me just look at my poster. Yeah, those are Turnin's horns. Interesting. Sabine's ancestor looks like Goddo. Oh, wow. It melts together like in the first volume. What? What did you... My head! Easy now. Transfer won't hurt you. Not without gifts. I've given you a copy of every single memory I have. All 144 sweeps of my life. Why didn't you tell me? Jeez. Anyway, I did. It's not just sweep study I've trained you for. Not only this technique is risky. Many years ago, those of mine have tried to transfer their consciousness wholesale. Try and flee their ends. It has never worked. Even as a shared aspect couldn't handle it. The weight of another shut them both down. Yes, I understand that much. It's one part of the arrangement. It's what you need to preserve so desperately. Please, let me finish. You and I are different. The Enthals can retain facts down to their minute details, analyze them in an instant. You're the only one fit to preserve, and therefore to learn from what I have experienced. I meant what I said before, Sestro. In our lives, who we end up being is dictated by the things that we make, what we leave behind. I made this world what it is today, but I also made you. Now you can see where I failed. My life would be the lesson I leave to your discretion. You can know who I truly was. I won't have to make those same mistakes. God. You can be more. You will be more than I was. He's dead. So when you wish you could have loved has died, his memory now haunts you. Jeez. Charger. I don't know what that symbol means. Oh well. Huh? Be the moon troll. Oh boy, this is where that update ended. This was... oh boy. We're gonna see the secret moon boy! Oh! These people really need to learn when to stop rubbernecking. You have a personal mantra. The more you stand and stare, the more lunar radiation bleaches your hair. Right. So we're going to see who this is. I'm not going to end it here because I've got plenty of time. On the Black Moon, all of you lead similar lives, no matter your station or no matter the latest spectacle going on outside. If someone to ask you what it was like, you got to reply honestly. You'd liken it to a dull and repetitive rat race, with no prize or participation reward waiting for you at the finish line, because there is no finish line. Oh, look at all these people. Hundreds of worker consumers packed together like post-particleized, chocolate-fried onion rings inside a bag of air, tossed into machines and then balled up with the rest of the garbage. You're all part of the problem, but that doesn't mean you're much when you've willingly opted in. I remember my brother got really bored reading this part. He was like, "Oh, really disappointing who this guy was." I'm like, "Shut up, Oscar. You've been working here for a long time. Since you're able to join the corporate workforce, which is far and away one of the better deals you could have struck in the occupational field. So he's not a prisoner, we know that. My message is that you get your credit where credit is due. Credit meaning stockpile loops and equals stability, which equals stability. You belong to the background, as most trolls do. It's not often that one is allowed the privilege to navigate in peace. Enter name. Ooh. Hey! Wait, no. Never mind. Your name is Rakran Enali, Head Overseer of Base Sector 64G. Your division deals in maintenance, welding, electrical engineering, and most notably waste disposal, be it nuclear or otherwise. You're about to go all the way to the top for an answer to this mess, which means time to contact the Hex for one. Rakran, examine quarters. Oh. It's, Before you skip down to join the working class. Sociology. Listen, if I hadn't taken sociology, I wouldn't know what working class meant. I'm not gonna lie. You just take part in the Bi-Sweep's Dregs Thrash Bash, a traditional low-blooded battle of the bands that took place in your local scraps. It's an extensive tourney of musical and martial competition, with the reward being extensive bragging rights till the next round. Feisty instrumental warfare is based on the band's musical landscape of choice. All-out broken bones mosh brawls, filled with exceptional displays of holographic manifestations of pure sound, every member pushing their survival abilities to their absolute limits. Anything is fair play to drown out the competition. You have a friend who's still in the scene and tries to coax you back from time to time, butting you up by talking about wasted talent and what have you. You can still make it somehow. As far as you're concerned, if you're ever going to make it anywhere, you don't plan on making it back to the end of the junk mill. The gigs on the wall are the only mementos you keep of your discarded dreams of runaway success. All of them harsh and polarizing. Limp Bizkit, for example, is another one of those Biscuitine cover bands that capitalise on the cultural resurgence. No one knows what the original Limp Bizkit sounded like, but many imitators have tried their best to put their music to lyrics of the ancient Biscuitine hymnals. This particular group has a level of notoriety due to its frontman taking on the Durst pseudonym. I think it's pretty obvious that it's just a gimmick, but still managed to fuel some impressive theories to do with his bloodline. Do we know the Durst said? I don't know if we do. They're pretty alright. Oh, so never be over how My Chemical Romance got away with such a raunchy band name and still made it to stardom. I've actually been listening to them a bit recently. Only really two songs that I think are worth listening to, which are I'm Not Okay and Welcome to the Black Parade. To be honest. Reject Scorp. Oh my. You have to keep an eye on all stations as your division operates on a cross-moon basis. It is your duty to conduct routine satellite runs, slowly but surely making the vain attempt at clearing the overflow of pollution and lessening the impact of the planet's ozone layers. While the Black Moon, your main base of operations, is centered around the resource development, distribution and being a general dumping ground for anything the mass doesn't want. The White Moon is anything but. That one's a tourist trap for the wealthy, a vacation resort only an elite are able to afford. It's got the whole 9 expenses, chlorinated jello pools, automated mascots, even the occasional celebrity schmooze. Finally, its smaller grey submoon works as a tangle of mass of wires and relays, providing internet and television signals to the entire planet and its surroundings. The sculpt theme is stone sour and it evokes a certain kind of horror you still find strangely alluring. The band it's based off went from a sort of alternate metal grind to producing nothing but raw, unfiltered noise. You dig the spooky paranatural edge. No answer from her yet, you just got to force your hand. Reckon, read some contact with Superior. Okay, I'm gonna have to give Ratcred a voice. Tangential reproach began trolling overzealous directive. What voice did I give Ratcred last time? Hey, we need to talk. Were you there? Unless I checked, you take your pride in being the most punctual board member around. Well, I guess you must have more pressing matters to attend to. Come back to me when you can. Stop trolling again, trolling. So you have to come back online and explain what happened outside soon, right? Cool. Just make sure that's still a thing. Still a thing, and it wasn't my imagination playing tricks on me. There's some high-level moon madness going on, so you never know. Nope, just check it outside again. Still sucks. Who would have thought? You're forcing me to take drastic measures. It's your fault if this goes off in the middle of one of your intricate reactionary echo chambers. Bet you'll get scowled at and told to please turn your notifications off, Miss Heckrix. Woe is you. Here goes. Tattoo approach granted a cold, Rev Sal's directive. Why'd you insist on acting this way? What are you gonna do about it? Come up to the moon? Fucking hell. I'm in the middle of something. I like Grakren. He's funny. Hell, you know he's even in my channel banner. Which is my kin list. Half kin list. Yeah, I know, you're in the middle of talking to me about fun tuckers such as meteors in the sky, and other juicy details you've probably neglected to mention about this little experiment gone awry. If anybody else displayed this level of insubordination, I would have had them stripped of sigil and put on immediate unpaid leave. Oh, I thought we were supposed to be friends. We talk often enough to be friends. I was checking on my status and trying to get me to feed your metrics. Isn't being a good friend all about give and take, Miffy? This little experiment is sort of our making. We've barely had any information on what it could be. Me and Sister plan on looking into the matter once we've had enough time to collect ourselves and make a statement on behalf of the company. I'm setting up an arrangement for that. There are numerous changes in direction that we plan to employ in order to accommodate those affected by the jump. We have reports of power outages, strange weather patterns, and cracking foundations. And what about us? Yes, what about you? Do we count as affected by the jump? Folks taking a vacation over there on White probably aren't as amenable as I am about the mess. And they're the ones who are actually adding to revenue streams other than the cipher cash rings. Evacuate the stations, report to all sectors that we are currently all locking down. Any and all off-mass projects. Recreations and distribution of goods till further notice. Paid. If you hang up right now. Right, evacuate station. Oh, just a random thought. I had a Vastera dream. It was about some characters that didn't exist. I think there was like a purple-blooded woman, and there was another character. I don't really remember his blood color, but his horns were like the most fucking. They were very large and long, and like the most crazy pattern of horns I've ever seen. But you know what that means? Vastera OCs. It was actually a while ago I had that dream. I'm surprised I remember it. Whose is that symbol? So you turn to spread the message. A floor of entirely different ones start to flood your computer screen in air searing cyan. Bloody hell. You sigh under your breath. This drastic showmanship of the inopportune that insists on following around, a foolhardy and ostentatious flair you've grown accustomed to. It's as captivating as it is overwhelmingly stupid, hard not to get swept up in. More junk food for the soul, you guess. You're intimately familiar with their bullshit at this point. You still find yourself circling back around and walking up to your computer. You may have more than a couple of interesting happenstances over their flaming pants to make for your lack of haste. Let me just find some soothing music for this next part. Probably this one.
I like what they've done with the place.
Let me just check how much I'm recording. Rakrin, answer Mate Spirit. What who's Mate Spirit? Oh look, it's turning. Freddy Freaker. Yep, this is very suitable music for this character. Okay, so if you don't remember, this is Turning Kai Kai. They were mentioned a lot in Snowbound Blood, and also we saw them in SLC Enter, and also we know Gentha watches them. Women. Okay, so the voice I gave this character is probably unlike a lot of voices other people gave them. I'm pretty sure they canonically sound like Sheen Estevez. Although I might be remembering that wrong, but I gave them a very different voice. Engrossed indulgence, verified, began rolling tangential reproach. Okay, so T-minus now until they start hashing out the incalculable fuck number of things we gotta rap about. Obs and less obs. The whole shaboodle. You will not believe the mess. Looked like a bomb went off out here. And then they almost inhaled those fumes like no one's biz, got blissed as fuck, and then ransacked their intimate collection of blendy pens. This boy wakes up from her eternal snooze cruise, and next thing she knows, she's a member of some kind of radicalist art movement. Like hentai professional Lovecraft, but without the two sticks of raging casteism stuck up his prosy tishwagon. Anyways, I had this stream going on tonight. I mean, mainline gorge during all the hoopla, cause a few subs were all jazzed about how I got this new pogo, right? Multiple dads bids and rebids were saying I couldn't make the hop. How could I refuse to not when I only aim to please? Surprise, surprise! As soon as I get there, I got some groupies coming from the wings and then got all traumatized during the performance. I'm mostly stuck up in my cranium box wondering if I'm about to stick the landing. Everybody can look up and stare at all the weird shit in the light shows going down, but I'm the bitch who's losing airspeed. When's the last time you saw one of those old frozen tree peddlers? Oh god. Tangential approach began to call. Is that a typo? Should it say with? Engrossed indulgence? I'm just. Oh. If I have to weather you listing off increasingly unbelievable forces, you're at least gonna do it while hearing how exhausted and flabbergasted I am. Pardon me. I think the voice I've given Ratcran is slightly dismiss, but a bit less edgy. Pardon me. If you missed my pitchy dulcet tones so much, you could have just tuned in earlier while I was live, you goob. She's like legit. One of these freaking heroes dove in after me. And they got... What the hell are you eating? Women. Popped into my nice and icy peanut buttery coupe that I helped myself to from the leftovers of that guy's rig like it's 88. What an absolute lad. Pretty sure I got another sponsorship out of it somehow. Trinity, how many round of us do we need to have about the danger of lemons? It's citric acid. It counteracts the stomach acid in your system and corrodes through your flesh. There's only so many chemical reactions we can have in one sitting. Maybe for a normie that wasn't built from the ground up to be a beast in the Nash depot. Every night your body's dying just a little bit more. So you cannot enrich yourself in my world of delicacies, but perhaps you can learn to not be such a jelly party pooper and let me enjoy the snacks from my secret garden. It's disgusting. Especially the topical bombs of botulism poisoning. It's scrub diddly fucking umptious. Oh my god, they can use their mouths. Do you even care about what's happening on out there? I know that you could literally die is a debatable subject with you, but seriously, how are you still standing after such a catastrophic gravitational hit? You sound just fine to me, so don't think it's out of the question for me to also be fine, right? Haven't had a chance to really plug in for the live stats on the rest of the everything. You should really take a look at while I'm busy doing the unthinkable. We're gonna hear this song again in very soon, next episode probably. Well, if it's unthinkable, then I sure don't know what you could be up to. Spill the beans, mister. We've got an upstairs pardon. Moons aren't stable enough to stay occupied. So we're shuttling back. That's great! Not really. That's less great. But I'm gonna be grateful to see your bitter ass again after so long. Turning and Rackman back at it. The endless solstice. Nothing will ever be the same. Yeah, that's gonna be tagline sweeping the Nexus. It's bad enough that people ask where I am in the tabloids whenever I don't show up in the chat. Is Rackman famous? I don't know. Scandals are a free market, and they got the goods. And I've gotta go, because my bitter ass is not going to make it back to your happy ass if you don't shut up for 2 seconds and let me do my job. Yeah, alright. Go do your chores, Stinky. I will be awaiting. Peace. Later, dummy. I really like their dynamic. I don't know if I'm the only one. Apparently it's based off Mark and what's his face from Unus Annus, but I never watched Unus Annus, so I don't know. Yeah, chastise me all you want. I never watched Unus Annus. I don't really watch Markiplier anymore. Or Jack, all those big YouTubers. It's definitely not PewDiePie. I stopped watching him a long time ago. You're still always began trolling tangent approach again. Oh, by the way, one last thing. I know I talk in circles around you, but I think it's time we visit this ring here. Since you're coming back now, maybe we should try hash out a plan to get you out of there, mayhaps. I gotta stress that I'm fully aware of just how stubborn you are about making a name for yourself on your own terms. I keep telling you that you don't gotta be stuck crawling these wackos in the dead-end working house ranch you tend to. I'm set for life, and I got a place, and I'm literally own things with your name on it. I could hook you up. I could tell you up. What? Oops, Dog Brady came back. No, we're all upstairs, so. Where was I? Oh, yeah. I could tuck you up. I've got nothing but connections. You're bringing the band back together, even. If you don't want to, like, really, I promise, I won't drag the idea out again. Those tabloids kind of blow hard, right? Cause of social media pests, all you ever check law. I know, I'll leave you the way. But that whole lot of shit you says for getting me down from humble beginnings and then up there, and over here. Whatever here is. I just want to make sure I pay it forward. Let's get more than a few weeks of getting to curl up on that washboard of yours. So, turn into Sestro. Interesting. Why are they still out here? Should make your job easier, but it doesn't do much to is it assuage? Assuage? The idea that your crew would swab a brick wall if it had something to gossip about. You people busy enjoying the change of scenery, or do you all spontaneously congregate to barricade hallways often? We're finishing our head count! Head counts are orderly. From the back, you look like a diseased herd of unbodied loci. Not all of us can be blessed with perfect lunar bleaching like you. You're a sector leader. You could try to be productive about the standardized hair job. What I'm trying to do is find a lost recruit from 98 VG. So they saw him trying to navigate through the labyrinth without a helmet on, but those are new guys they brought up to deploy satellites, right? I thought I overheard them not wanting to be caught around the heaps. And I guess they ran out of spare parts or something because one of them isn't here. Want to trade jobs? And why is it going out? I like to test a little theory of mine. Also, I need an announcement made. When full shit and all shuttles to be used for immediate departure. I felt talking it out with the big suits over the happiest place off mass. Hey, I didn't agree to anything! Oh, oops, I'm putting my helmet on and I'm walking down the hall. Can't hear you, over and out. The Kraken's funny. I really like that deadpan snarkiness. I guess I could have put him on a Funyun of one of my characters, actually. Well, it was just made recently. I guess that... Yeah! Only they're a bit more, softer than him. I made a change in temperature outside the airlock is noticeable. Flash from hot to cold at intermittent levels. Not due to the atmosphere, but due to your faulty and overworn inner suit systems. These bad boys aren't easy to repair, and you refuse to go down to the folks in the refurbishment wing after last time. Coggy bastards. At least now you don't have the bolus of dying suns to contend with. That's probably not a good thing for anyone except for you and your crew. But they're not the only ones who are toiling way out here during peak hours, are they? Macron, search. Anyone who sets foot on one of the moons for the first time is surprised to find that they have the same gravitational pull as the planet itself. Graviton enhancers were drilled into their crusts many sweeps ago, doing most of the heavy lifting on the satellite's poles, magnetic from beneath your feet, keeping you in these landfill mountains grounded. I've got to admit, seeing all this junk up close every night has given you a new perspective on the state of Repeton's local beaching spots. Maybe not that bad after all. This keeper probably looking for a clearing and wound up finding more of the same hazardous lumps instead. You don't manage to stray too far. Hey, come on back this way, champ. Huh? That's the sound I was hoping to get. Let me guess. You figured out that you could still breathe out here, didn't you? Either that, you have one hell of a fixation on trying to find creative new ways to choke yourself out. I was doing studies on the orbital pull when it happened. I noticed the pressure decrease after hiding during the jump, and I... Save it. You're gonna have plenty of time to feel proud of yourself once the squad knows you're back. It makes you feel better. I had the same hunch. Look, come on, get up. Head back to Repton. Orders from the top. Ground control to Major Tom. Jet out vibrations you've become so used to are non-existent as soon as you stepped out. As soon as you made the wall. In fact, this is neutral gravity. Oxygenated, ideal. Pay attention to these little things the whole time. Power and internet signals are both operational, though. Even when this chunk of space rock still has a bit of rotation going. So where the hell are you? Be turning. Actually, let's not be turning. Let's end it there. No, whatever. And where's there? We're at 5 minutes, that's enough. Yeah, this will probably be uploaded before the final Your Turn to Die video gets uploaded, where I cry again. Oh yeah, anyway. Hey, this is the first recording that officially took 2 days to finish, so that's cool. Anyway, thanks for listening to me. I hope you like my raccoon and turn-in voices. Yeah. See you next time. Also, like, comment, subscribe.